Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. That's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Please, witness, go on with your testimony. I'll try. All you have to do is tell us only what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again. Who is he talking about? Alright, I'll do my best. Another one, okay. After he stabbed her in the back, he picked her up in his arms. Oh, okay, you're continuing with this, okay. Thought you were starting... They keep making it sound like she's about to start, or... Yeah, she's about to start a new testimony. Then they just, like, add more to it. Carried her over to the car. The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. Okay. Is that all? He could have just left the body on top of the bridge. Yeah, that was okay. He broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. Wait, he broke into the trunk. Or, what did we... Okay, yeah, the car was stolen. I do remember that. Because he was a prisoner. Yeah, there. I don't see any signs of breaking into the car. Then again, I don't really know what you need... I guess, you know, I couldn't expect him to like, punch the car open. I guess he did have the keys, so... Still, it's weird to say break into the... He broke into the car trunk. It's not useful right now. But, if you're... Okay, so she was in the clearing behind the mountain. So, she saw them from, like, right here, and... Or she saw them from, like, below where the Eagle River is. So, she wouldn't be able to see him past the mountain, then. That would make no sense. Why, yeah, so she shouldn't be able to see the car. Because the only way she would see them is if they were in the center of the bridge. And that's, like, the only area she'd be able to see them at. Plus, she got a tree in the picture. Which means that... Unless, like, there's a loose tree occasionally, she was standing in, like, the trees in the bottom patch. So, yeah, there was no way she could see the car anyway. I've been looking for, like, if the car was broken into, because that doesn't really matter. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see the car. Yeah, it's the map again, I guess. I think I presented the map, like, just constantly this time. Just like the map is the answer to everything. Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it again this time. You know, Edgeworth, you probably should have handed her a copy of this map before we started this. Just to, like, let her warm up with the map. Because she's messing up a lot, and it... Yeah. Alright, done what? Made a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Bay? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. You're saying you saw that, right? With your own eyes? I think the fact that she said broke in there was supposed to confuse me. At least. Because that was making me think more along the lines of, like, was the trunk actually broken into? Not, like, could she actually see it? Yes, and? It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place where you claim to have taken a photo from that day is here. Oh, okay, so it was a bit above the trees. Yeah, I forgot the bubble where it was, but I knew it was behind it, not on top. Now if it was my original thought, then her being on top of that little mountain, then this would have had no meaning, but it does change things that she was actually behind the mountain, or the little cliff thing. Do you see what I mean? Even if you try to see the car, this outcropping of rock is directly in your way. Ah. That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car. That's right. It's not that high at all. I was able to see his car just fine. I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court, yes? This is the location that the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. Oh, I thought that was a tree on the side. Whoops, crap. I legitimately thought that was a tree on the side. That makes more sense now. Okay. Yeah, I just imagined the cliff to be tall, but yeah, because it even looks tall on the map. But yeah, okay, that makes more sense. I was being dumb. That's not a rare thing, honestly. Anyway, you can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff. Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff, but you claim to have been able to see the killer's car. No. Well, oh jeez. Oh, order in the court. What is the meaning of all this ballyhoo? Ballyhoo? Is that a Canadian thing again? Is that another Canadian thing? Because I've never heard that word before. Your Honor, don't come to any jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure that you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. But she was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only what she saw with her own eyes. Oh. Mr. Judge? What is it? I think I must have remembered things wrong. Hey, wait a minute. You can't just say that. Objection. That's what every other witness says. Well, that was like a really dramatic finger wag. I don't know if that was like the usual finger wag. That was like a really dramatic one, it felt like. Anyway, Miss May, no one on the face of this planet is perfect. Yes, indeed. Quite true. You know what they say. To err is human, to forgive, divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to the witness here. What? That's not fair. Huh. Save the tears for later, kitten. Mr. Armando. Don't look back until the trial is over. Now's the time to go forward. But that wasn't fair. Okay, kitten. You need to relax. Then you need to remember the other kitten's testimony. The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. So tell us, how did you know that? How did you know that he broke into the trunk? Aha! Until you can explain how you knew that, you're going to have a lot of suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. That was a good point, Armando. Good job. Well, witness? Well, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk because there were marks left on the trunk's lid. I'm certain they were scratch marks from when he broke into it. What? Let me see that photo. Oh, I see scratch marks. It's true. They certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. Oh, whoops. I thought that was just like a weird symbol on the keyhole. Whoops. Huh. It's obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss May, are you satisfied? The judge is on her side. I can't make any mistakes here. What she just said, is there a contradiction in there somewhere? What would be wrong there? Wait. Okay. How did she know, like... Since that's not the same photo as the one she took, how does she even know there's scratches on there to begin with, though? Because she wasn't in that area beforehand. And there's a giant cliff blocking the way anyway, so how does she know? Because we didn't show her the picture, I don't think. So, how does she actually know there's even scratches on there? Melissa Foster, it looks like you finally betrayed yourself. What? You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers, but even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when? When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Finally, I finally got her. Ha, I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. Then perhaps it would be faster if Miss Fay explained herself. Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was... She happened to be passing by. No, that's completely would contradict the reason I'm doing this, which is that would just be like, oh yeah, she, you know, she'd go free after that. She is the owner of Okay, I doubt that. So, yeah, she put the corpse in herself. There's only one way that the witness had a chance to see those scratches. Yes? What is it? Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it? That's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that... I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one that put the corpse in that trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open. Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, like, he had the car keys. Actually, I said that earlier, I think. But he stole the car. How would he steal the car without the car keys? Unless he did, yeah, unless he did the wiring thing at the bottom, but nobody ever mentioned that, so I'm just assuming he had the keys. He stole from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light, which means that the key would have already still been in the ignition. Oh, I see. Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. It couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk. Preposterous to even suggest that the witness would put a body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? The corpse could only have been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. And we already know that at the time she was taking the photographs. Now's your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think about too deeply about it. What I'm saying is the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. Oh yeah, because she's got the timer. Yeah, she has the little timer thing. Yeah, it has a timer function. I don't think you can make a mistake about it. Take a look at her camera. It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Almost as if the camera was brought just to take this picture. Oh, she had a tripod too? I didn't even know she had a tripod. Wasn't paying enough. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention. Yeah. What are you trying to say, Miss? Well, actually, it makes sense. She has a tripod. Now I just feel really dumb. Like, why wouldn't she have a tripod there? What are you trying to? What are you trying to say, Miss Faye? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field when, as she claimed. Well, if she really did use the camera's auto timer, then the answer is yes. She was somewhere else. Exactly. She was not in the field. Would the defenses please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? In answering that question, we'll also make clear Miss Foster's true identity. God dang, this guy's like the best helper on the side. This guy's like the best sidekick for this. Like, this guy's helped me more than everybody else as a sidekick this entire time. This guy's great. Oh, why don't we just let this guy take over? He's doing a better job than I am. I have to think about things. He's just got it all. Oh man. Well then, answer this question. Where was Melissa Foster when the incident on the bridge occurred? Okay, where was she? So we're saying she put the corpse in herself. So the only place she... So what would be the way to... what would be the easiest way to do this then? Or what would be the best way to think about this? Easiest way to think about this? I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm thinking too hard. So... Okay, so if we're saying she killed her, then... What if she... and she took the picture. So she wanted the picture for sure. So she knew the picture was gonna happen. So they arrived at... So we're going to assume maybe they arrived at different times. What if... Well, if we're trying to say that he didn't kill her, then what if... she was... Maybe she was one of the people on the bridge, then. Because she specifically wanted to take a picture of what was going on the bridge, but... that would have been weird, like, if it was the actual victim, then the victim wouldn't have walked so far to, like, the edge of the bridge over here. I can actually show where I'm pointing to now. The victim wouldn't have, like, walked so close to this area of the bridge. I'm still assuming that the bridge might be broken. Actually, that's bad. I don't know. But still, if she wouldn't have walked, it's not necessarily that she would have... I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to say she wouldn't have walked all the way over here. It's not guaranteed. There we go. That she would have walked all the way down the bridge and gotten to the point, or in view of the camera, pretty much. Because if we saw the shot that the camera took, it was literally right. That was the closest area on the bridge you could see. Or that was like the only area of the bridge it could see, the furthest part of it. So, I'm thinking that maybe she set it up. If she was the victim, then or if she was dressed as the victim, I guess. Then maybe that would be the only reason that would be a good reason as to why they were standing there specifically, perfectly in view of the camera. Because she drew him over there. Naturally, the witness was right here. But that's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing. Hopefully my logic kind of pulls through here. I don't know. This might be bad. Order, order, order. Miss May, what on earth? Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. Yes, okay, left. But this would mean there was no time to put the victim into the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim. How asinine. Of course Mr. Falls met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Falls. You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous than my entire life. Just wait till you meet Phoenix. I mean, come on. In a couple years from now, he's gonna be, interrogating a parrot in front of you. Then who exactly is the victim in this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness. What? It's the only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster. Well, I was thinking about it for the wrong reason, but I mean, yeah, I was thinking about like the way the photo was taken, like why exactly it was put there. It works. It works, I guess. Me? Let's remember that it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Falls himself believed the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. But the defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped him get convicted. But since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in a federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You're only making this up as you go along. Where's your proof? I've got it all right here. This piece of evidence will blow this case wide open. At the time of the incident, Mr. Falls had forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne had looked like, except for the scarf. Right? Mr. Falls had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification. Namely, this muddy scarf. It was Mr. Falls who requested that she wear this scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. It could have even been you, Edgeworth. Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster? Did she just disappear? Hello? Well, and that day we discovered someone who has teleporting powers. Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together. And the only question is, why did she do it? Well, isn't that obvious? She's the true criminal. Ha. Well, we'll have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are instructed to wait in the lobby. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well. This court is in recess. Well, that went better than I thought it would.